Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain, and this is going to be my haul video for PAX Unplugged 2022. So I did get a lot of review copies, a lot of stuff. I kind of said no to a lot of things because I'm trying to be a little more picky and choosy about what I accept. But a lot of the things I got, that they also gave me like extras, like expansions and whatnot. And there were also some events I went to where I just got goodie bags, where I've not necessarily committed to reviewing the things in said goodie bags, but I got them. And this is everything I brought home with me from the convention. So to start with, I'm going to start with this very interesting looking game. It is called Mythic Mischief. It's kind of an abstract strategy game plus, like there's other mechanics in here. It looked really cool. I saw people playing it at the con, and I was talking to the people at the company, and they gave me a review copy along with a bunch of expansions. Mythic Mischief is a game of high-stakes hijinks in which 1 to 4 players vie for control of the school library. Mythic factions with contrasting powers work to manipulate the board and outmaneuver their opponents. Cunning capers and tactical traps will outwit your enemy, catching them right in the path of the bone-chilling Tome Keeper. So, like, it looks like an abstract strategy game where you actually move the bookshelves around, and there's this neutral piece that you're trying to avoid and trying to point towards your enemy. Now, the base game comes with a bunch of different factions with asymmetric powers, which looks really cool. It's got the wizards, vampires, Frankenstein's monsters, or zombies. And then they also gave me 3 expansions, which are whole new factions. I got the ghosts, the witches, and the trolls. So I am very excited for this one. It looked super awesome, and I cannot wait to check all of this out. So that's the first thing. Next, I was talking to the people over at Solus Game Studios. You may have seen that I already posted them talking about their upcoming Kickstarter they're going to be doing, where they're going to have the Acquisitions Incorporated version of Pocket Paragons. I had previously done a Kickstarter preview for Pocket Paragons when they had their first Kickstarter. They had sent me a media kit which had some of the fighters. Lynn and I liked it quite a bit, and while talking to them, they gave me a copy of each of the existing boxes for Pocket Paragons, as well as a nice game map they gave me, which I'm going to try to use in the next video I'm going to do on this. So here's a look at the, do I have it right set up? I do. This is the really cool game map, which has one of my favorite characters that I previewed. I actually used them in the preview. This character here, which is like a plant monster character from the Temporal Odyssey box. Now so the 4 boxes are, there's the Pocket Paragons Temporal Odyssey. There is the Pocket Paragons Origins. There is the Pocket Paragons Aegis box and the Pocket Paragons Rivals of Aether. They also gave me a few other like promo sets and such as well. I can't wait to go through all of these and check out all the fighters and see how their asymmetrical powers work. What I'm planning to do, since I've already done a tutorial of this in my preview video I did for their last Kickstarter, what I'm instead planning to do is I'm going to do a video where I'm going to go through each of the boxes and kind of tell you what sort of powers, how each of the fighters work, and why you would want to buy one box over another, because they are planning on doing another printing of all of these boxes for the next Kickstarter, and you're going to be able to add them in as add-ons. So basically, I'm going to do a video where I'm going to break down, you know, why you would want to pick certain of these boxes if, for instance, you're not able, if you can't afford to get them all. The next thing I've got here, this was in a goodie bag that Rock Manor Games gave me at the demo. I went to a cool event they had where I filmed a few demos of different games. This is Merchants of Magic. It is a competitive card game set in their Set a Watch universe. It looks pretty cool, and I haven't actually committed to reviewing this, but if it's good, I will. I will definitely review it if I like it. So I'm going to put this off to the side here. And also, they gave me a deluxe edition of Set a Watch. Everything I said about Merchants of Magic will apply here as well. So I'm going to put this off to the side now. Next, we've got the first game I've opened and actually gotten to play from the con, which is Token Terrors. I actually was playing this with Alex the other day. This is kind of, again, an abstract game plus. It doesn't actually, you move pieces like an abstract game, but you don't capture like an abstract game. There's dice in here, and a lot of it is like positional strategy. This game is really interesting. And again, comes with tons of different factions, different fantasy factions. So Token, Terrors, Battlegrounds. There will be a review of this coming in the not too distant future. So stay tuned for that. I've got this cool custom dice set that was in a goodie bag at some point. Now this one is a rogue themed dice set. So I'm going to be giving this to Lynn because she always plays rogues. I'll leave it up to her if she would like to review these really interestingly shaped dice or not. But you may see a review coming from her in the future, or you may not. We'll find out. I got, this was, again, just kind of stuck into my hands, but it is the Ash Can edition of Through the Void, which is an upcoming role-playing game. This is kind of like the teaser version. Apparently totally playable, but the full version will be much bigger and nicer. I haven't decided if I'm going to do coverage on this or not. I'm going to check it out, and if it seems really interesting, I may do a video on it. Next, another role-playing game. This is the Maximum Apocalypse role-playing game, set in the same universe as the board game Maximum Apocalypse. But this is actually a full-on role-playing game. It was also in the goodie bag from Rock Manor Games. Next, we have a bunch of stuff for a role-playing game that I've been super excited for and definitely going to be doing content on. There's no question about it whatsoever, and that is stuff for the Blade Runner role-playing game. So I went over and saw my friends at Free League. They are always very cool people, as always have a great booth at all the cons they go to, and always put out like top-notch product. Yeah, I'm a big fan of their work, and they've just released the Blade Runner role-playing game, which I've been super excited for, especially since the system in this, using the Year Zero engine, is going to be incredibly similar to the one in the Alien role-playing game, and I'm planning on possibly doing a game where I mix content from both, which super excites me. So they gave me the role-playing game. They also gave me the starter box set. They gave me the Game Master's screen. Here it is. And they gave me the custom dice, which, now that I'm looking at, interestingly enough, has things in it other than six-sided dice, which means there will be some interesting differences here from the normal Year Zero engine, which only uses six-sided dice. We'll have to check out what that's all about. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have a lot of content coming on all of this, so stay tuned for that. Next, my friends over at Czech Games Edition, or CGE, gave me a copy of Deal with the Devil. Now, I did a demo on both this and Starship Captains at Gen Con that I put out on the channel. It was a kind of like a presentation from one of their people on both games, and I was very excited after filming it for both games. They gave me a review copy of both, so here is Deal with the Devil, which is actually very heavy. There's a lot of components in here, and this is like a heavyweight Euro game crossed with a social deduction game, which seems really weird and really cool, and I'm really excited to try it. My one downside is it has a ridiculously restrictive player count because it plays at only 4 players. You cannot play it at any other player count, which means it'll probably take me a little while to get it to the table. So this is a review that's probably not going to be coming for a while because I have to have a night where I have exactly 4 people looking at the game. But once I do, I'm very excited to try it out. And you know what? I do see a lot of positives here as well, even though I already know that that's going to be my big gripe, is the really restrictive player count. And since I just mentioned it, let me pull it out from under a stack of games here, because I should have had it queued up to go. I have Starship Captains. Now, this one does not have a ridiculously restrictive player count. It is much more varied in its player count. And this is a really cool looking game with like, it looks like it has like pick up and deliver and worker placement and all sorts of very interesting mechanics going on. It is obviously very much inspired by Star Trek as well as other classic sci-fi properties. I'm very excited for that one. So next, I was talking to my friends over at the Varia game booth, and I, of course, had done a review and tutorial video on Varia already, which it was a really cool card game that plays kind of out like a old school fighting video game from the 90s done as a card game with, you know, attacks and counters and blocks and very awesome stuff. They gave me a box which contains all of their fighters from their season 2. So I'm planning to do a video where I go over all of the fighters from season 2, and basically, because you can buy them separately, I'm going to tell you why you would want to get one over another, what their fighting styles are like, is basically what I'm planning to do with this. And also they gave me a pack of, this is a pack of extra equipment for when doing deck building, when you're not just using one of the pre-constructs. If you want to design your own, that's what this is for. So I'm going to go over all of that, like I said, in a video in the future. Next we have, let's see, this is Fantasy Realms. This was given to me over at WizKids. It looks pretty cool. It's a neat looking little card game with a fantasy theme. I've also got some promos here. I'm not actually sure if these are for Fantasy Realms or not. They were just sort of, again, just sort of like thrown in my bag by the people over at WizKids. And then next I have a very interesting looking game. This is called Genesis Battle of Champions. So Genesis Battle of Champions, I was talking with the designer and he gave me one of their starter sets as well as a box of booster packs to check out. Now this is a collectible card game that plays kind of like a war strategy game. You play on a map or board where you have squares and the cards move around on the squares. A lot of the stuff he was talking about sounded really interesting. He also gave me some promo cards, including this pretty foil. Let me see if I can get it to shine in the camera here, but this is really pretty. So he gave me a starter set and a booster box, and I told him that I would do a review with the starter set, and I'll also do a unpacking video with the packs and the booster box where, real time in the video, I'll be, giving you my ideas of what I think about the cards that I am unpacking. But yeah, so at least 2 videos coming for sure with Genesis Battle of Champions. And this game does look really cool. The artwork is gorgeous. The card production is very nice. These are nice and thick cards. And I like the idea that they also turn it into like a positional battle strategy game, not just a standard card combat game. There's a lot going on here, so I am very interested to check that out. The next thing about here is another role-playing game. This is another one I got from my friends at Free League. This is Death in Space, and I specifically asked them if they were looking to get any content out about this because I think this game looks really cool. And they said, yeah, they gave me a copy because they have it back in print again, so it is available. So Death in Space. Death in Space takes you to the grimy blue-collar future of a dying universe filled with risk and opportunity, where technology is broken and dirty, society is harsh and desperate. This book includes an introductory scenario and plenty of tables and tools to get you started immediately. I love grim, dark, gritty, real feeling futures, so I am very excited for this role-playing game. And then finally, the largest review copy I got at the convention. Let me pull this out here. This is Over Battle, the All War. Now, this is a giant 4X game, which if you watch my channel, you know I'm a big fan of 4X games. I've done a ton of content for, specifically for Twilight Imperium. I did an entire series called Grokking Twilight Imperium where I went over all of the factions and my thoughts on each individual faction. I also more recently did a review of another 4X game called Northgard, the Uncharted Lands. I love checking out 4X games. It's one of my favorite styles of games. And this game looks amazing. They have a very interesting combat mechanic in here where the height of the units during combat really matters. So your flying units can be low to the ground or they can be higher up, which gives them more power. But also, if they're higher up, it's harder for them to hit units on the ground that are hiding in foxholes, which is, really thematic, really realistic, and also very, very cool. I can't wait to check this out. This is another one, though, specifically I'm going to have to get a game night with at least 3 players together to play this one. To play it properly. I believe it does play at 2, but you don't have all the options available to you at 2 players. But yeah, this is one of the games I think I'm most excited for, just because of the fact that it is a big, heavy 4X game, and I love those. So there you go. That is everything I brought back from the convention with me. Managed to fit it all into my checked luggage. Let me know what you're really interested in seeing in the comments down below. If you were at PAX Unplugged, let me know what games you got that I missed, that I didn't get to cover. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see me do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. I've got one video left for my PAX Unplugged coverage. It is my wrap-up where I'm going to give you all my final thoughts on PAX Unplugged, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, game on.